Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If you're watching us live, thanks for that. If you're watching this later, we appreciate that as well. Like to remind folks that we do upload these shows to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. It is a free portion of our website, and you can check it out there. If you don't have time or don't really want to hear my voice this early in the morning, can appreciate that as well. Jumping into your traffic and weather, there is a accident on I-12 westbound. It has traffic backed up near to Jubin Road already. That's causing some delays at 190 4H Club Road and River Road in Denham Springs, as well as some delays just north of there at 64. Now, the 64 delays aren't too terrible. Kind of probably the best way to go to try to get into Baton Rouge this morning. So please keep that in mind. You're also looking at delays at some of your larger high schools, including Denham Springs, Walker, and Live Oak as folks drop their kids off at school. Weather today, it's currently 63 degrees. It's going to cool off a little bit. It's not going to stay as hot as it was yesterday or the day before. Going to get a few showers this afternoon, which is going to cool the temperatures down. You're looking at 54 as your overnight low. Only going to get up to 74 today. Will warm up a little bit tomorrow, but then we're going to get those showers late Friday night, early Saturday morning. Going to have a huge cooling trend, going to turn back into more of a winter weather type scenario with 50s, 40s, that kind of thing. So please also try to bring an umbrella, try to stay dry this afternoon. Want to remind folks that Canes announced yesterday in a partnership with LSU and their national championship. Coach Ed Ogeron is a spokesperson for Canes, and they offered free coleslaw last week. Well, this week, first 100 customers at every Canes location will get a voucher for a free box combo. So congratulations again to the LSU Tigers. We just can't stop talking about it. But that would be Canes will be offering for a free voucher for a box combo to the first 100 customers today, Thursday, January 16th. There was a lockdown yesterday at Jubin Park Middle or Jubin Park Junior High. The situation was resolved. It according to faculty and staff on campus and mostly the principal, there was an incident with a knife. According to Sheriff Jason Ard, the school resource officer resolved the situation before it escalated into anything further, and no kids were harmed. Yesterday, it was announced that Laban Associates, who are here in Denham Springs, they were a architectural, commercial real estate, as well as commercial construction firm that had a facilities management arm. It was announced that they are selling that facilities management arm to FMM, which is Facilities Management Company, and they'll be focusing more on those first three things, which is architecture, commercial construction, commercial real estate. It's a big move for Labar. They said that they are excited about it. It's going to give them a chance to grow in some areas that they feel like they are the best at and that they can focus on. Jay Labar, who was the principal there, said that he, was excited about the move because after some time going through a CEO roundtable with the CEO of FMM, he realized that they were better at it than Labar was, and Labar was doing some of those other things that they were just better at than a lot of other firms. So they want to focus on their positives. So congratulations to them for that. Yesterday was the Business of the Year Awards. It's an annual thing hosted by the Chamber. They have a luncheon at Forest Grove Plantation, which is on Pete's Highway in Denham Springs. They award a vast array of folks with all sorts of different awards, plus Entrepreneur of the Year, Small Business of the Year, Medium Business of the Year, and Large Business of the Year. But before they got into that business, they had speeches from Mr. Jeremy Idell of Sports Clips, as well as Mr. Derek Murphy of Quality Engineering. We'll talk a little bit more tomorrow about what Mr. Derek had to say. However, Jeremy Idell sort of compared his path into entrepreneurship and investment as that of Ed Ogeron. Had a rough first couple of years. He was a CPA at first, moved into an entrepreneur profession after dropping being a CPA, and was a little too micromanaging, just like Ed Ogeron was. Had a lot of chaos, a lot of trouble, cost himself a lot of business in the early going. And then he found someone who could kind of be his... He learned a little bit, tried to back off, respect his employees, not micromanage it as much. and then found his Joe Burrow, found somebody to run his business the way he wanted to be run, because he's kind of a numbers guy, a CPA after all. And suddenly things started to come together. So his trying to tie it in with that national championship, his message was learn from your mistakes and find your Joe Burrow. So hopefully we all can find, anybody who's in business can find their Joe Burrow. So let's talk about the let's talk about the awards that were handed out yesterday. I want to say this past year. It's for the 2019 year, handed out yesterday, Wednesday, January 15th. Non-business award, it's the Associate of the Year that went to Miss Eileen Bates McCarroll, who was the mayor of Albany. Community Impact Award went to Amy Lejeune and Shayna Landry. They're of the Foster Village in Walker. If you don't know who they are, you should. Mr. David Gray has covered them a couple of times when they had some events. Very, very great group of people. There is a abandonment issue here in Livingston Parish. There are a ton of foster children. There are a ton of children who are adopted here in Livingston Parish because they are removed from their parents. So they deserve your help. They are, again, in Walker. Please check them out. They're online at the Foster Village. Large Business of the Year was Farrell Calhoun Paint. They have an office here, or a store/office here in Denham Springs. Medium Business of the Year was Gulf Coast Title. Small Business of the Year was Alfred Landscaping. And Entrepreneur of the Year was Tommy Stojak. If you don't know Tommy's a very community-oriented guy. He is the owner of Sombreros, and he has branched out and he opened Unos Dos Tacos in Denham Springs. And of course, as a lot of you may know, he was handing out free turkeys at Thanksgiving, or free full meals actually, at Unos Dos Tacos for those who just couldn't eat on Thanksgiving Day. So congratulations to those winners. Also, some other winners were the Community Project Award, which went to Mr. John Blunt of Blunt Contractors, and the Chairman's Award, which went to Miss Casey Stewart of Stewart Family Medicine for their participation last year in certain things, especially Mr. John Blunt in the Litter Initiative. So congratulations to those winners of the Business of the Year Awards. You can see a photo gallery of their awards and those folks accepting them at www.livingstonparishnews.com/news, and you can read the full story about what Mr. Jeremy Idell had to say before they kicked off all the events. So again, one more time, congratulations to those winners of Business of the Year through the Chamber. Master Plan Committee is going to meet tonight at the Parish Council offices. It's at 6 p.m. They'll be getting back into the swing of things here in 2020. Haven't met since early December. And so, no, excuse me, they have not met since November. They went ahead and canceled December because of the holidays. I had a little trouble scheduling the building, so now they're going to be jumping into it tonight. So we will be on hand there at the Parish Council offices. Again, that's at 6 p.m. Talking about sports, there's just a lot going on. These guys are, Rob and William are pulling in a lot of books, trying to get coverage to all these teams. We invite you to go to www.livingstonparishnews.com/sports. Look for your team. Try to find them. Give them a little support. And you can always check out those stories on our Facebook page at Livingston Parish News. I'm not going to jump into the sports because I think they put out about 14 stories last night. There's just too many scores for one show. But again, I recommend you go check it out, www.livingstonparishnews.com/sports. Now, if you'd like me to go through all the box scores at the morning show, leave a comment and say, I want the box scores. And we'll start adding that in. It'll take me a few minutes to go through all of it, like when I read all of the people who would qualify to run for election, but we'll give it a shot. So again, if you're looking for those box scores, leave us a comment. We'll start running the box scores. This Saturday at Grand Country Junction, big show coming up. It's an anniversary for them. So they've got a special guest, Miss Ashton Gill, as many of you know, who was American Idol. She was in the American Idol, and then came back, and that was when Mr. Lane Hardy came sort of back onto the scene. So she is back in town. She is going to be performing at Grand Country Junction. It starts Saturday, January 18th, 7 p.m., and it's $15 at the door. She's not the only performing artist. There are a ton of artists that are going to be getting up there and playing. It's going to be a night of good fun and good music. So again, check that out. Grand Country Junction show, Saturday, January 18th, starting at 7 p.m., $15 at the door. One last time, let's check out your traffic. As we announced at the beginning of the show, looks like there's a wreck on I-12 heading westbound. It's got traffic backed up to Jubin Road. Also some intermittent, there it is, delays at O'Neill Lane on I-12 West. Starting to have some backups at 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190 where they intersect in western Denham Springs. Some minor delays on 64 as you head into Central. Also, not looking too bad as you take a left there onto Greenville Springs off of 64. Still looking like a good way to get into Baton Rouge this morning. It's 63 degrees currently, 74 is your high, 54 your low. So we're gonna get some afternoon showers, and it looks like it's gonna clean up and cool off a little bit, so it won't be too bad today and tomorrow. Not as hot as it was the last couple of days. Kind of summer here in winter, kind of an interesting trend. And so, well, it's spring and winter. I don't want to take summer's due away from it, especially those days where it's about 105. And we will get some heavy showers either late Friday night or early Saturday morning, which is going to bring some really cool weather. Looking at getting into Sunday, getting back into those 50s and 60s and 40s at night. So remember to bring an umbrella this afternoon and try to keep yourself dry, and it will be cooling off even more over the weekend. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you joining us this morning for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. We had Gary Talbert yesterday. We're supposed to have a guest today. Didn't pan out. However, as we announced, the large business of the year was Farrell Calhoun Paint. Mr. Jim Chapman will be in the booth with us tomorrow. We're going to be asking him all about paint. We're going to ask him about his journey. We're going to ask him about how he got into paint and that sort of thing. We're going to ask him all about paint, what he knows about paint and things like that. So it's going to be an interesting show if you like paint. We'll run through a little gambit of everything that happened, and then we'll jump right into it. Then he and I will sit down and do a longer show, a podcast. So please remember, we are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are also online, www.livingstonparishnews.com. We have an app to go with that, and we are once a week in print. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have many blessings here on this Thursday, and we will see you tomorrow morning with Mr. Jim Chapman.